Well, hello there. Welcome to our Motivation Monday. Yes, it's Monday. It's 3 o'clock, which means I'm here and I'm talking to you for our Motivation Monday. So we are live on our Facebook page every Monday here at 3 o'clock to talk about anything in relation to body shape change, into understanding women's health and wellness. We talk about fitness, we talk about strength training, we talk about anything that I think impacts my clients or I get questions on a regular basis. And today we're talking about hormones because again, I've had a couple of people chat to me about this recently, and I also wanted to share a little bit of the science behind it and actually how much it's affecting your body, potentially sabotaging any weight loss goals, and how you can tap into it and harness the power of your hormones to actually supercharge your goals, your effort, your energy, all of those sorts of things. So as people are coming in live, I will introduce myself, but I would love it if you could comment below with the number 1 if you are watching live, and let me know. If you have any questions or comments as we go along, do put them in and I will do my best to answer them for you. If you are watching the replay, comment with the number 2, and again, drop in some questions or feedback. I will happily do that. If you have any questions specific to you and your case and what you're wanting to talk about, you can PM me directly through the page as well. So hello, you're most welcome. If you have not seen me live before or you're watching the replay, thank you so very much. My name is Lisa Barwise and I consider myself a wellness alchemist, which means I'm the kick-ass catalyst in the transformation of women around the world, strong of mind, body and character. And today we're talking all about hormones. I actually shared this amazing video in my tribe the other day, which went into even more depth into the science behind why hormones can have an effect. So we're going to touch a little bit on that today because I want to give you the information that you need to understand how our hormone cycle, our monthly cycles, how our life cycles all impact on our body shape change, our weight loss efforts, if we're building muscle, or if we have different body shape change goals, and what you can do to harness that power to really tap into what we call our feminine power, so that you can achieve all the things that you're looking for. So the first thing we want to talk about today are the 4 main hormones that really do affect women on a regular basis, and how some are triggers to others, or they're the ones that kind of trigger. And those are the measurements that we want to look at. So the 4 that we're looking at today are estrogen or estrogen, depending on where you're coming from, progesterone, insulin, and cortisol. So the female hormones are our estrogen or estrogen and our progesterone, and these trigger or play a role in how insulin and cortisol move within our bodies, which can affect us in terms of everything from how we feel to, bloatedness or water retention, to our mood, to our abilities to restrain ourselves in terms of eating, what we want to eat, cravings, all sleep patterns, everything. So let's dive into it. Okay, so in terms of these four hormones, they are impacted based on our usual monthly cycle. So what we're going to look at today is unusual 28-day monthly cycle, but most women are anywhere between 28 days and 35 days. And then we're going to talk about life cycles where we move into perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause as well for a little bit, to give you an idea of the struggles that go on there. So if you're somebody with a usual 28 to 35 day cycle, then this is for you to understand. So there's 2 parts generally to the cycle, and it's roughly, and again, it depends on you and your body, how this falls. So for the first 14 days of your cycle, starting at day 1 is the first day of your period, you are in that first 14-day stage, or that first stage where you become high with regards to your estrogen, but your progesterone levels are low, or they stay kind of low, quite consistent and low. So what tends to happen in this area is when you start to notice your mood lifting. So it's almost as those waters break, so to speak. Your mood begins to lift, your energy returns, your positivity returns. As estrogen is increasing, estrogen affects insulin in that it makes you become more insulin sensitive, which is the goal that we're looking for, and also less stress reactive, or less, we're very reactive to stress, which is really the goal that we're looking for, because estrogen is the fat burning hormone in the woman's body. Insulin is also how we deal with our sugar levels, our glycogen levels, how we are sensitive to carbohydrates and sugars, etc., which can also either mean that we're fat storing or we're fat burning. So when we are less resistant to insulin and we're more sensitive to insulin, we're likely to be more fat burning, okay? And that's what you want if you're looking at body shape change, if you're looking at trying to lose weight, etc. During this time, you will also feel just more positive, more energetic. The outlook is good. I always say that this is the time in your cycle that you can plan in extra workouts, whether they be extra lifting, strength training workouts, which is so important for females, especially over the age of 40. And that's the time for you to ride the wave of happiness and positivity. If you're starting a diet or a restriction, or you're starting a new eating plan, this is the best time to start because you're more positive about things, you're able to deal with things, you try to work things out, and you are less likely to crave bad things at this beginning part of the cycle. Okay, so that's where hormones can work in your favor. Now, it's in and around day 14 that we enter the luteal phase, okay, which is the phase that we're basically building up the egg, basically ready to then disperse. So this is where estrogen begins to plummet and progesterone starts to take over, okay? So as estrogen plummets, this is when our happy vibes start to plummet with it. Our progesterone tends to be a bit of our moody hormone, makes us more inwardly focused, makes us more sensitive to people around us, can make us a bit more snappy, a bit more irritable. It's the kind of more about the blues. And with it comes another layer of issues. So as progesterone is going down, it means that we are becoming more insulin resistant, which means we are more sensitive to what we eat. We're craving more. We tend to be more carb sensitive, sugar sensitive, that sort of thing. I'm going to go into that again in a minute. And we tend to be more stress reactive, which means that stress stresses us out even more, okay? Not only from a mental point of view and in terms of our approach to things and anxiety and snappiness and all of that sort of stuff, but in a hormonal point of view, and cortisol will increase. During this time, our body starts to crave additional calories, anywhere between 200 and 300 calories, which is fine for you to increase in the right way. So it's okay for you to get this from more protein sources, from even complex carbohydrates. Healthy fats are really good this time, but really what your body's craving is 200 to 300 extra calories of cake and chocolate and all of these fatty things. And it doesn't stop at 300 calories. We're craving that extra calories, but we end up going to 500, 600, 700. So if you're starting a new plan or a new diet or a new restriction at this point, this is where you're easily derailed, because you're already, your sugar cravings are all over the place, and you think it's just that your willpower's not good. When you do workouts, you think you did a terrible workout. You're maybe just feeling really bad about yourself. You're not getting the exercise in that you want to. You're feeling really unmotivated. You're wondering why you feel so unmotivated. Oh, and it's just a downward spiral in that respect. So here's my tips for as you hit into that phase. You can then bring your amounts of workouts down. You still want to get your strength training workouts in there because it will really help to balance out your hormones. It also helps to balance out your glycogen levels. It makes you less resistant to insulin, etc. But you may want to add in more really stress-reducing cardio, such as yoga classes, long, easy, leisurely walks. Get your healthy baths in there, maybe even a spa day. Lots of Epsom salts. Lots of self-care is really important during this time. And also pre-planning meals. So during your high phase over here, it's really important to start putting some meals away, because it's during this time that you won't want to cook. You're going for the wine, you're going for the chocolate, you're going for the takeaways. So if you have something pre-planned, even some healthy treats that, in easy reach, then that will stop you from sabotaging all of your efforts up until this point. Does that make sense? So it's really a time for you to, by all means, turn inward, and especially as that PMT and everything starts to rise, it's really important for you to know that that's going to happen. It does happen to us all in different degrees and varying degrees. Oh, thank you so much, Mari. So it's really about having a wee bit of pre-planning, and that's what will serve you most in terms of that. Now, if you're somebody moving beyond your usual monthly cycle, you're going into a perimenopausal or menopausal stage, then basically what is happening on a grander scale is what happens in that luteal phase where estrogen is just starting to come down. So this is what's happening on a long-term phase. The amount of estrogen in your body is just coming down. So what that means is that you are going to find it more difficult to stay in that insulin sensitivity area. You're going to find it difficult not to be stress reactive, and that is why we say that women over 40, between the ages of 40 and 70, that strength training is so important, and that if you are doing things like HIIT workouts and Tabata style workouts, that you limit those to once a week, that it's a small sharp burst of workouts, and that you take breaks when you need them, so that the exercise itself isn't causing additional stress over the stress that exercise causes, because exercise does cause stress to your body. So you don't want it to trigger that cortisol hormone, because that's just going to keep the mid, that lean, your midsection basically from leaning out. So what estrogen actually is responsible for is the curves in the body. Estrogen is the thing that gives you the boobs, it gives you the hips, that keeps your waist lean with that fat burning connection that it has. So as estrogen is plummeting, you tend to get wider, and that's what happens when people, and ladies, we see ladies hitting menopause, they tend to start to widen out because they're losing their lady hormones basically. So what you need to focus on during this time is that it's about lots of strength training, more strength training than even Tabata or HIIT style training. When you are doing your HIIT style training, that you keep it short, sharp bursts, 30-minute workouts, 20-minute workouts, that is it. Try to not have more than 1 or 2 per week. And also what you need to do is balance that out with long cardio, so nice long walks with the dog, enjoying being out in nature, using it as part of a de-stressing process. You're getting the extra couple of calories that you're burning from the walking, but it's not stressful. So we're aiming for about a 30-minute walk, every other day. Yoga is amazing as we get older, not just for the care of our bones and our joints, etc., but also for that general sense of well-being. It's really also important to have a bathing, spa or sauna routine, because we need to help estrogen leave the body well. So we do that by sweating. It's really good to help estrogen leave the body. Also to help our liver break down that estrogen, so taking supplements like milk thistle. As you are also more stress resistant, you can look at adaptogens, which are different supplements. The one that I take at the moment is called Rhodalia, which is an adaptogen which helps us to deal with the stress that happens as we hit 40 and our hormones are starting to move in that way. And there's a lot of other little tests. We also need to get more fiber, very important in our diet. We need to actually increase the normal amount of fiber intake by 4. So that's why we suggest the Green Goddess smoothies. So you're getting your high protein and lots of greens, fibers, veggies in a smoothie form. So it's not adding more stress to your day thinking about what you need to eat. You just knock it back into a smoothie. So everything needs to be focused on reducing stress and your reactivity to stress, whilst dealing with the issues that come with the estrogen plummeting. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that you were able to see how we can use it as a superpower, right? So don't think of it as, oh my goodness, all these things are happening in my body. It's really working against me. How can I make this work for me? What you need to think about is, it's easy when you understand the wave that you need to ride, that you're not the only one in this boat, that we're all going in the same direction, different journeys for different people, but we're all human, we're all women, we're all female, we all have the same feminine power. We just need to tap into it and use it to our advantage. So when we know these things about ourselves in terms of where we are at our cycle and tracking our cycle, which I would suggest doing with 2 different apps I use, one called Hormone Horoscope, which is amazingly cute and tells you where you're at any time of your cycle, with a little bit of a horoscope of what's going on for you and things to avoid and things you can do to help yourself. Also, it helps you to understand that you can use that and be like, okay, well, I need to get more exercise in now because this is a really good, this is a really good time for me to get more exercise in. And also, if you are knowing that you're going into the cave mentality, into your progesterone, that this is normal, that you're going to feel this way, and you just need to make some provisions to lessen the symptoms and the things that are going on with your body. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for sharing. If you did think that this message is something that others need to hear and you would like to share it out, that would be great. Go ahead and share it out on your page. What I'm going to actually do is, I did a masterclass on this last year, and I'm just making some changes to it. I'm going to pop the link in if you want to find out. Well, I did 2 different masterclasses. I did one called the Metabolism and Hormone Masterclass, which is it's a more in-depth view of what I've just gone into here. I also did a class with my very wonderful unicorn friend Brittany Carmichael called the Feminine Power Masterclass, which matches the hormonal and metabolism stuff also to your moon cycles and how the moon affects our menstrual cycles as well. And we did that as a collaboration, and you can access both of these completely for free to find out and harness the power of your hormones, your metabolism, and your feminine power to really help you to reach your goals. And again, we're here every Monday at 3 p.m. If you have any questions or comments, do put those in below. If you're watching the replay, put a number 2 in so I know that you've watched the replay. And if you have any questions or feedback, do get back to me. And I look forward to connecting with you all again this time next Monday at 3 p.m. And I look forward to meeting with you there. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Peace out.